So this is a very different event. It's men's for a start, but it's pairs, coxless pairs. It's the elite event, another championship event, the Silver Goblets and Nickalls Challenge Cup. We've got the Irish, Dorney and Kearney on the far side of the course, your left-hand side as you're looking at, and we've got this very nice pair of Verkaik and Joordens from Amsterdamsche Studenten Roeivereeniging Nereus, who did very well yesterday in their race to row through the Washington pair. I watched that race and I thought the Dutch did really well, and I'm surprised they have that lead on the Irish at this early stage, Fergus.
Yeah, I think that performance against Washington yesterday will have given them a huge amount of confidence. It's two of the guys from Washington's second varsity 8 that are the best second varsity 8 in the United States at the moment, so to be able to take a scalp like that is a real confidence booster. But I think what we see with the Dutch national team time and time again, and now we're seeing with the university programs like Nereus at the moment, is just their fluidity in their stroke. So even when they're blasting out the blocks at 38, 39, 40 strokes a minute, it just looks effortless from them. But that lead that they had that you talked about in the early phases, perhaps we're starting to see their opponents just come back into the mix a little bit in the past minute or so.
I mean, I fancy the Irish to win this. I think, you know, Jack Dorney and John Kearney. John Kearney stroked the boat with Ross Corrigan that finished 6th in the Lucerne final. He was subbing in for Nathan Timoney, who I think was unwell. So we're going to go live shortly, and the Irish are still, well, they are leading. Yeah, I did say I fancied the Irish to come through, and this pair were in the Irish for, I think that's right, the World Championships last year. Didn't manage to qualify for the Olympics, but you know, they've been in and around the Irish team, which is absolutely flying. I don't think they've got a coach here. I think Niccolo Maragiovanni, who is probably coaching the Irish Olympic pair, is away, but they have this slight lead.
Yeah, that pendulum of momentum is just starting to swing towards their favourite at the moment. They're just looking a little bit more sprightly than their Dutch opponents. It's just looking a little bit heavier in that Dutch empacher at the moment. As we saw in the early stages, they were so loose, so fluid, but as that they've just been rolled through a little bit by Dorney and Kearney from Ireland. It's just impacting them psychologically, I think.
Do you know what I think? You know, it's the first race for the Irish pair. Come into Henley and you're not quite sure. I know they're selected, but basically the Dutch have raced yesterday, and that really set them up for the first part of this race.
It's a big old race for them yesterday.
Yeah, and now the Irish have got into it. They go, oh right, this is Henley, that's the booms, we're not going to hit the booms. They've kind of relaxed out, got a bit more fluidity into their stroke, and they're leading this race, coming through with, what, about 600 metres to go?
I love that platform they're able to establish at the moment. We're not seeing too much toing and froing from stroke side to bow side from the Irish at the moment. The Dutch crew, though, just every now and then it just tips over, perhaps to stroke side, perhaps to bow side. So the Irish are just running that little bit more smoother through the water. And again, as we said earlier, the rain's a real leveller at the moment. It's not too windy out there. It's a smooth surface for them. And the Irish are really capitalising on that at the moment.
Yeah, Irish pair stunned the world, really. They led the world in the World Championship final last year, Ross Corrigan and Nathan Timoney, and ended up with a bronze medal. But they haven't shown that form. There's been illness in that pair, and so they haven't really shown the form that they want. But you never know. On the training camp, the Irish could be challenging for a medal in Paris, and these are the number 2 guys.
I'll tell you what, I think over the past 5 or 10 strokes, we've really seen the hammer get dropped by the Dutch crew at the moment. They're stepping on, that rate is starting to increase. Just a little look over the shoulder from Isaac Verkaik in the bow seat, the 25-year-old at the moment. He's raced 3 times previously at Henley Royal Regatta. He'll know these boom courses. He'll know from rowing through Washington yesterday, now's the time to go. As I'm saying it, Martin, the stroke rate is just coming higher and higher from the Dutch at the moment.
I know you can move quickly in a pair, but I don't see them getting that back. I think the Irish have got enough power, they've got enough horses, they've rode in enough World Cups. I mean, you know, for someone like John Kearney to actually stroke the boat that finished 6th in the A final at Lucerne, he's not going to let the Dutch back in that position.
No, he's not. It's so much more controlled at the moment. It's now getting quite frantic in that Dutch boat. The Irish are still composed, still sitting up tall and impressing all the spectators who are hanging on in the rain here on Henley Friday.
So if you're watching in Ireland, hi, you'll know that Jack Dorney is from Shandon Boat Club and stroke John Kearney is from University College Cork. Together they make up the selected pair in this part of the Silver Goblets and Nickalls draw, and they will come through quite easily to take this heat, their first race, tick, job done. And I think the pair from Nereus can hold their heads high. They've had a great regatta, fantastic race against Washington yesterday. So just confirmation in the Silver Goblets and Nickalls, Dorney and Kearney from Ireland, Verkaik and Joordens from the Netherlands.